Hi, I'm Chris, and today we're going to give that filing cabinet some legs. And here you can see the material we're going to be using. We're going to be cutting everything roughly to 6 inches. And here you can see me using my portaband bandsaw to cut all the stock down to the rough length. I know it's not going to be the perfect cut, but we're going to clean that up with the grinder later on. And here I'm using the same portaband bandsaw to cut the square stock as I did with the round stock. And you can see here the cut got a little off skew, but no big deal. Like I said, we're going to clean that up and square everything up with the sander later. And here I'm squaring everything up and getting rid of all the burrs. And as you can see here, the filing cabinet was already set up for these index adjustable legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to use those, repurpose them for the legs we're putting on it to make it into a vanity. And here you can see some of the stuff that I'm going to be using. And here I'm going to be cleaning up the metal feet off the filing cabinet with a 80 grit flap disc on my grinder. And what I'm doing is just removing the scale and the rust so that it will be prepared for me to weld on the steel legs that I'm going to be applying. And you can see how I've beveled everything so that when I show you how I'm going to put them together like this, that I'll have a nice weld joint with a lot of weld bead to hold them strong. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to make sure I go ahead and chamfer the edge of the square tubing as well to make sure that I get good penetration and a good weld joint. It's not very exciting, but it is a crucial step. And here you can see the beveled edges. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking my flat stock that I'm making the base of the back legs out of and just cleaning off the mill scale and grinding it down so I have a nice clean metal surface to weld to. And here I'm just roughly finding center so that I know where to position the screw-in feet that came with the filing cabinet. And here I'm tacking them on so they won't move around so I can weld a solid bead. And here's how a good bead should sound. And now I'm just going to take my grinder and clean up any of the slag or the high points off of my weld. And now we're welding our square tubing to the plates that we just made so that we can attach them to the filing cabinet vanity. And here you'll notice that it's more of like a pulsing style looking weld. That's because I'm doing stitch welds. It's like a bunch of small, well penetrated tacks. And here you go, not the prettiest of my welds, but they'll definitely hold. And here you can see the roughly welded and finished rear legs for the cabinet. And here I'm trying to lay some decent tack welds to make sure that I hold this foot into place on the steel rod. And here you can see me test fitting the front legs. I want to make sure that with all that heat through the welding process that they still screw on and that they sit straight. And now I'm doing the same with the rear legs. Now time to see if all that hard work paid off. And here you can see the legs worked out perfect. They're very sturdy and level. I thought the front legs could use a little something to make them pop, you know, a little bit of accent. So what I'm going to be applying is just some simple copper tubing as a sleeve. And as you can see right here, the fit is so tight, it just goes right on, and the actual friction holds it. And here you can see it with both of the copper pieces attached. Came out pretty good. I really enjoyed the asymmetrical design with the box tubing in the back and the round stock up front. And that's it for part 2. As you'll see that we didn't really clean up anything or put a clear coat on anything, which we'll be doing when we get to the refinishing part of the Vanity. We're probably going to clean everything down and then give it a lacquer clear coat so nothing will tarnish. And I just want to thank everyone who has subscribed so far, and if you haven't, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, check out another one of our videos, and ring the bell for notifications. Can't do it without you guys.